Have you ever thought about how come Jio managed to give us internet for such cheap prices? 1 GB data that we used to buy for 225 rupees and now that's less than 10 rupees? What happened? How did Jio got 4G for such low prices that they gave it to us for effectively free? And what are these allegations about the massive loss of 22,000 crores to the government caused by Reliance Jio? You are on a journey to uncover the dark and dirty business practices that heavily disrupted our nation's telecom sector. You're watching One Scoop Clarity, so let's begin. In 2010, the first auction of 4G spectrum was conducted by the Department of Telecommunications. But most of the big companies weren't that much interested in 4G. Why? Because in 2008, TRAI had restricted 4G or broadband wireless access spectrum to internet services only. It could not be used for voice calling. Voice services was only available on 2G and 3G along with added perk of internet access. Clearly, all the big companies like Reliance Telecommunications, Tata, Vodafone already had that. Besides, why would anyone buy a spectrum only for internet if it can't provide voice calls? Of course, there were some dongle services, but that wasn't a very big market. So back to the story. In the auction, there was a surprisingly small company among the bidders, Infratel Broadband Services Private Limited. Its own net worth was only 2.5 crores. It had only one client, by which its yearly revenue was just 14 lakhs, and it was bidding for nationwide spectrum. Even the eligibility criteria for the bidders was that the company should have at least 250 crores, whereas Infratel only had 18 lakhs in their account. So which bank was daring enough to give 250 crores to a company with a net worth of just 250 lakhs? Well, to everyone's surprise, the Axis Bank came ahead and gave Infratel a bank guarantee of rupees 252.5 crores, a sum 100 times Infratel's net worth. Now, how did Axis Bank agree to take such a mega risk? Or was the bank guarantee fake? I don't know. Mother promise. Anyhow, Infratel managed to secure the bidding, and finally, on the afternoon of June 11, 2010, Infratel won, outbidding Reliance Communications, Vodafone, Tata and all other players. But that's not it. You will be surprised to know what happened on the evening of the same day. In the evening, Reliance Industries buys Infratel, and after 2 years, in 2013, renames it as Jio Infocom. As I mentioned earlier, DoT has already clarified that 4G or BWA should only be used for the internet services and not for the voice calls. But in April 2013, they backed out. At the request of DoT, TRAI changed the guidelines so that the same spectrum can now be used for voice calls too, and granted Jio a unified license for a teeny tiny entry and migration fee of 15 crores and 1658 crores. And how is this teeny tiny? Just be with me here for a minute. I'll explain. So you must be thinking, what's wrong here? An auction was held, a company won the bidding and the Reliance acquired it. So what? First, to understand it, let's simplify all of this with an example. Suppose a man conducts an auction for an old Maruti car, but instead of displaying the car itself, he covers it with a piece of cloth and then puts it on display. To simplify matters, let's assume that the max to max a sane person would bid for this car should be around 1 lakh as per the market value. During the bidding process, a person comes up and let's name him Rakesh. So Rakesh places a bid of 2 lakhs. Others call Rakesh insane and don't challenge his bid as they perceive it highly risky. Obviously, Rakesh wins the auction. And the moment he wins, the auctioneer comes ahead and reveals that the car hidden under the cover was in fact a BMW all along. Yep, a BMW. Rakesh knew, maybe. This example is a little extra, but you get the idea now. So let's move ahead. In a nutshell, Reliance rivals said that the dynamics of the auction would have been very different if they had known that the DOT would allow the 4G spectrum to be used for the voice services along with the internet services. They said if the auction was held after revealing this information, the auction prices would have gone way up and the government would have earned much more in revenue. The allegations are it was all pre-planned and the Reliance secretly gained access into the 4G spectrum allocation process by fronting Infotel. Think if Voda, Idea, etc. would have known that Reliance is bidding for the spectrum, they would have also be attentive, gauging the Reliance strategy behind it. Now let's dive into the figures. According to the draft CAG report, migration fee wasn't based on the true market value, but it was decided upon the year 2001. The draft report says that the net loss would add up to more than 22,000 crores if we take 4G spectrum band prices according to the true market value of FY 2009 to 10 and add to the present value of entry and migration fee. An outrageous figure of 22,000 crores. A distressing loss to the public exchequer due to the alleged undue advantage given to Reliance Jio. That amount could have been used to build schools, hospitals, and infrastructure in areas that desperately need it. It is a staggering amount of money that could have made a significant impact on the lives of millions of people. By the way, Prashant Bhushan, who is a well-known lawyer and activist, has already challenged the government's decision in March 2013 to allow Reliance Jio to offer voice services on its 4G spectrum by paying only Rs 1,658 crores. He describes it as a backdoor entry for Reliance. We will see how it will all play out in the end. But for now, what do you think? What Jio did to win was right or not? Should the government permit such a blatant manipulation of the system? Do tell us your thoughts in the comment section. So that's it for today, guys, and I am attaching a link in the description of an article by The Wire if you want to know more on this deal. And if you feel you have gained even the slightest of knowledge by our video, do share this case study with your friends to boost their knowledge. Hit the like button and comment your views on this topic because YouTube loves engagement and you know it. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more case studies like this. Also, you can support us by donating again. The link is in the description. और अगर आप इसी सेम केस स्टडी को हिंदी में देखना चाहते हैं तो आई बटन को टैप कीजिए.